Sal, real quick, since I have you here, thank you for joining me today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to as of this recording, there have been some rumors going around on the old Twitch Talk X book.com that, and this comes via Daniel RPK, who I don't know who that is, but I do see his hashtag attached to these rumors whenever they come around.
Often.
Often. Yeah. This is what I pulled from another tweet that's not his post, because, by the way, the post that this is, I did a little bit of digging, and the post that everybody's reporting on is behind this person's Patreon, which is interesting. I don't know what to make of that, but it is interesting.
It's about time, honestly, that someone finally figured out how to monetize Twitter rumors.
Yes, the Twitter rumor mill, put it behind your Patreon, and then everybody report on it. So here's, I don't know which tweet I pulled this from. Sorry, from the tweet that's pulling from Daniel
RPK.
All the
same. They're all fake.
So Spider-Man 4 will most likely touch on the multiverse. As it, quote, this is a quote one presumes from Daniel RPK's post, but I did not pay to verify that. As expected, Spider-Man 4 will now film next year. Now, by the way, in case you're an old head like me and you get confused, this is Tom Holland Spider-Man 4.
Right.
Not like a Toby, because I remember when, before No Way Home had a name, and they're like, Spider-Man 3, and I'm like, wait, what are we, oh, got it.
Oh, yeah.
This is Tom Holland Spider-Man 4. As expected, Spider-Man 4 will now film next year and is slated to release in July 2026 between Doomsday and Secret Wars, meaning that, yes, this is very likely going to be another multiverse movie. So I guess my question to you, Sal, is why do they hate us?
Right. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why they hate us as fans, but like, I think that anyone who was in the theater on No Way Home Day, when that movie came out, and people just lost their effing minds at just seeing an actor in a costume.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
I went, oh no. After the success, critically and commercially, of the Spider-Verse animated movies, and the success of No Way Home and just the general enthusiasm around it, I went, oh no, it's over for us. Like, we're never going to get Spider-Man in the streets, down and dirty, doing his own thing, maybe teaming up with one of the other street level characters, but focusing entirely on him and his struggle and his personal journey. It's going to be multiverse. And that's just how it is until, you know, either Sony collapses, Disney acquires them, or someone who is more powerful than anyone who works at either respective studios is like 45 and really wants to see that.
Yeah. Well, here's, you know, and so for people that have context, you're like, why are Sal and DJ so down on this multiverse idea? The other rumors that had been circling prior to this, and who knows, guys, who knows
indeed. It could have been wishful thinking.
That they wanted somebody in charge, maybe a Kevin Feige, who knows, wanted to see Tom Holland Spider-Man team up with Charlie Cox's Daredevil to fight Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, perhaps collecting a team of other assorted street-level heroes, maybe some Defenders alums, to deal with that conflict. And people like Sal and I were like, yes, that's correct. In fact, I'll take it one notch lower. I don't need a whole whatever
Defenders lineup.
If it's
Spidey and Daredevil.
If it's just Spidey and Daredevil, or you want to go one peg higher, Spidey, Daredevil, and Punisher, John Bernthal's Punisher, you're gonna. Am I insane to say? Because what I want to say, and this might be wishful thinking. I want to say you will make just as much money with as if you did a multiverse movie, but you will spend less money. But is that crazy? Is it not? Would a Spider-Man, Daredevil, Punisher movie crack $1 billion? Because No Way Home cracked $1 billion, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I'll go so far as to say a Spider-Man movie in today's world, in the wake of No Way Home, will make $1 billion.
Yeah.
You don't need any of it It could be Spider-Man and Daredevil team up to fight Punisher.
Yeah.
It could be Spider-Man and Daredevil are on the same side as Punisher, but but all three are fighting each other to get at the Kingpin in their own respective way. It could just be Spider-Man is sad that he can't be with MJ.
Yeah.
Felicia shows up. And he thinks that's what he wants, but it's at the expense of his other identity.
Yeah.
And Hammerhead is the main villain. And it would still do well.
Yeah.
And when I say well, I mean, it's outrageous to expect $1 billion for spending $200 million.
It's insane that this is now the benchmark every blockbuster
time.
Movie's trying to chase now. Like, that's insane to me.
The movie's going to cost $250 million.
Yeah.
No matter what the hell they do with it.
Yeah, you're like, it's street level. It's grounded. His villain's Hammerhead. We're not even doing a big CG villain. It's Daredevil and Punisher. And you're like, wow. And it's like, and somehow we spent $250 million on him. I'm like, well, not all that's ending up on the screen, is it? Yeah, not all that's ending up on the screen, is it?
Hell no. I mean, and that's the thing, right?
Did you have to pay did you have to go to the actual universe where Kingpin exists and pay him? Is that the kind of,
in it?
Are we doing multiverse crimes now?
Yeah. Remember the Raimi movies where it was like the first Spider-Man movie and then the second Spider-Man movie was like $50 million more and it looks 10 times better?
Yes. Yes.
And it's only slightly bigger.
Yeah, and we don't live in that universe anymore.
No, we don't. And it's like, but that used to be the litmus test. That used to be how we measured, sequels and returns.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, it used to be the term sequel used to be a toxic Hollywood term that meant we can't be creative, guys. I'm sorry. We have to make a sequel.
Yeah.
And a sequel was like not chapter 2, not like a second part. A sequel was take that movie, make it again.
Yep.
Get us some measure of money back, but it always has to cost less than the first movie because, of course, we're being derivative and we're going to try and just get a little bit of extra money.
To your point,
now,
and we're going in this point for this example I'm going to give to Sal's point. We're going way back. We're going before our
80s.
time. But you're thinking, I'm thinking 70s. Like, I remember when the new Planet of the Apes movie came out, and I did like a rundown with my buddy Steve, and it's like every movie was cheaper than the previous movie. You know what I mean? Yep. And it's like, wow, that's not at all the world. Because Deadpool, for example, Deadpool and Wolverine is double the previous Deadpool, which was double the first Deadpool. Yeah.
No, that's the new math. And when I say new, I mean 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Of Hollywood is pay twice as much for the sequel and expect 10 times the return. And that's what we call addiction.
Yes.
That's a gambler's response. But it's just like with Spider-Man is a street-level superhero that everyone likes. And when I say everyone, I mean like everyone, the vast majority of people seem to love Spider-Man. And part of the reason why they do isn't because he traipses around the multiverse having thousands of redundancies bump into him with variants on his costume. It's because he does the things that he does at the street level. I'll bet some of the cheapest sequences to shoot in Homecoming were all the delightful Spider-Man scenes.
Yeah, the best parts Spider-Man. Of those movies. Yeah.
The best parts of the movie, like him sitting on the subway on his phone.
Yeah.
Like the elevated train on his phone, or him on a actual, honest to God, maybe it was a set, maybe it was a practical, I don't know, fire escape.
Yeah. Yep.
These are the scenes that we want, but the whole time, the last 49 seconds of Far From Home, when he's just swinging through the city, and it's like, and everyone just look, let's say you're Kevin Feige or whoever is in charge at the Spider-Man level when it comes to making these movies. I know it's not because Sony owns it, but
you're in the arm wrestling. You're one of the people in that arm wrestling match of who gets to decide what's happening with Spider-Man. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But every day, thousands of people are just constantly celebrating that 10-second sequence from Amazing Spider-Man 2, arguably one of the most reviled Spider-Man movies of all time.
Yep. It's in contention.
Yeah, why can't your movies look like that? Why can't we just have a sequence like this? This is the greatest web-slinging sequence in the Spider-Man's history. And it's like, dude, that movie is old, and it's eating our lunch by the fandom. Like, one of the things that Marvel should have gotten right when they made their first attempt at a Spider-Man movie was web-slinging, the suit,
yeah,
and the character.
You know what, man? Because you're 100% right in that. Because I agree. I think you and I, or at least, I've had this conversation with a few people. I like Amazing 2 more than Amazing 1.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not arguing Amazing 2 is a good movie, but you're not wrong in that it does look better than every single MCU Spider-Man movie, which is a travesty. Like that's shameful.
It is absolutely shameful, especially when you see like set photos on Civil War and you realize they made like a Romita level costume for him, and then they just covered it.
They just painted it over. And to your point with and I think part of the disappointment is, I love the Raimi movies. Those are a benchmark for me, partially because of nostalgia, partially because I genuinely think Raimi's just a director I sincerely admire.
They have a lot of character.
They have a lot of character.
Like, very deliberate, those movies are.
But
and they're also, people say like Christopher Reeve's Superman movie is like the tentpole template for superhero movies. I think Spider-Man edges it out.
Especially now, especially at this point. I definitely think you could make that argument now with the era we live in. All that said, I could be convinced that Tom Holland is a better the Peter Parker Spider-Man package.
Yes.
If you let that breathe, like if you let that exist. And I think that's part of the disappointment is I do want to see, well, one, just the fan in me, like, yeah, of course I want to see Tom Holland swing through the city with Charlie Cox's Daredevil. Are you kidding me? Of course I do. Even because a lot of I'm assuming this is probably true for a lot of people my age. A lot of my introduction to the larger Marvel universe is through Spider-Man. So even though the Moon Knight show broke my heart, as a Moon Knight fan, it broke my heart. If you're like, hey, we're just gonna have a sequence where Spider-Man's hanging out with Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight, I'm like, yes, bravo! Please, yeah,
absolutely. I mean, doesn't it kill you inside to know that in the Homecoming trailer, that shot of Spider-Man and Iron Man swinging over New York City
isn't real? Fake? It's not real, dude. I had a trading card that's Spider-Man swinging through New York with Iron Man flying next to him, and it's not even in the movie.
How could that not be in the movie? How could that not be the first shot of the movie? How could that not be the template for your movie? And this is to speak to the like Alien Romulus / Spider-Man of it all.
Oh, I've seen Alien Romulus. You texted me about it. We haven't had a chance to talk about it. We'll do that off air.
But my point is simply this. I understand that like, A, Hollywood's always got to put their dick in it.
Yeah.
B, you got to give them something they've never seen before. And at least that's their mentality. I understand that. I'm not delusional. I don't think that like Hollywood, is tapping my phone or is out to get me. But can I get one? That's all I'm asking for. You know what I mean? Like, I'm asking for one. I'm not asking for like an Alien trilogy that looks and feels exactly like Alien and Aliens. Yeah. I'm not asking for a Spider-Man quadrilogy that's just him fighting my favorite villains and doing all my favorite stories.
You would take it if they give it to you, but that's not what you're asking.
That's all I'm asking for is one authentic Spider-Man movie. I'm asking for one movie where Spider-Man lives in the greater Marvel universe. He has Peter Parker problems and Spider-Man problems, and maybe they kind of intersect. And that's the whole
movie.
And it has nothing to do with some other weirdo agenda. It could even be it could have been part of the Infinity Saga. I don't, you know what I mean? If maybe Spider-Man needs to pass this class and one of the Infinity Stones is in the the Eye of Agamotto or something
whatever.
Like that. But like he thinks he's going to stop a robbery and he actually is unwittingly part of the Infinity Stone saga. Like that's fine. That's a Spider-Man story, and there's so many of them. There's hundreds of issues like that. That's all I'm asking for is one. I'm asking for one authentic Spider-Man movie that doesn't compromise to the degree that they all have. You know what I mean? And it's like they are going out of their way to not do that every time. I will say this. When it comes to the Spider-Man 4 that comes out between two of the biggest Avengers movies that will ever come out. Those movies are going to prop up Spider-Man or vice versa in terms of box office return. And Spider-Man's going to be in one or both of those Avengers movies.
Yes. Definitely. And probably more than one Spider-Man.
And that's the thing. In that last Avengers movie, at least 2 or 3 Spider-Men will be in it. So we've got it covered.
Yeah.
And they're going to overshadow any other cameos that appear in it because I saw No Way Home and I was there in the theater.
There's definitely going to be a shot of RDJ's Iron Man. Tony Stark, I know he's going to be there as Doom. He's going to show up as Iron Man. And Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. There will be a shot of the 3 of them. Yep. And then a whole generation will collectively cream their jeans.
And then they can get over it, please. Like, can we move on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And by the way, this is a Spider-Man discussion, but it's been on my mind, and so I'm going to throw it out there. We are definitely going to see in Secret Wars RDJ's Doctor Doom, Victor Von Doom, fight RDJ's Tony Stark, and it's going to be stupid. It's going to suck. It's going to be so like frustrating.
What's going to be more frustrating is going to be how emotionally gripping it's going to be to see Spider-Man react to Doctor Doom when Doctor Doom is Reed Richards' greatest nemesis. Like, that's going to be because narratively the MCU has set up their relationship, RDJ and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So for that moment, that's going to happen. Yeah. And it sucks, but also it would suck if they didn't do it. So we're in this weird kind of situation.
Well, yeah, where it's probably going to suck. But here's the thing: as much as I don't want this to be true, Deadpool and Wolverine just made $1 billion. So it's
a done deal.
It's a done deal. And as you and I have spoken,
will also be in Secret Wars.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that like we've talked. I can't remember what show we've talked about it on, but like one of my big issues with Deadpool and Wolverine is that movie. I don't prefer it. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but I think one of the things that makes me feel so down about it is not the movie itself, but what it means for all these other MCU movies moving forward, like Spider-Man 4, where we can't escape the stranglehold of nostalgia bait multiverse cameos. But before we wrap up this conversation, I do want to give you a spectrum of what our multiverse stuff could look like, and I want to see how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Okay. One end of the spectrum, we just get a live action Miles that shows up. Maybe even he's supposed to be the Miles from Into the Spider-Verse. How do you feel about that?
That'd be fine, but I fear that Miles tends to overshadow Peter in multimedia now.
Yeah.
So I'm, people are talking about introducing Miles in the MCU or setting him up with Tom Holland. I'm like, that's the last thing I have yet to get an authentic Spider-Man movie starring Peter, and you're going to introduce Miles.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, but if he's from another universe, for sure.
Sure. Okay. Another option. This is how, because like it or not, our MCU Fantastic Four takes place in an alternate reality. Yeah. What if this is Spider-Man teams up with the Fantastic Four? What if that's what this movie is?
Oh, I'll take a Spider-Man Fantastic Four anytime, any day of the week. That's what I've always wanted. I wanted Webb or whatever his name was, Watts, to take over Fantastic Four because I was kind of like hoping there would be some synergy between those two movies.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So if it's a Fantastic Four multiverse, maybe if that's how we have to get our Spider-Man Fantastic Four hangout, we'll take that one. Last one, Deadpool and Wolverine and Spider-Man.
I love that idea.
Okay.
I'd watch that movie. I'd pay twice to see that movie.
Okay. All right.
So, that makes sense.
So we've got Sal on board for the multiverse as long as it's Wolverine and Deadpool or the Fantastic Four. That's how we have Sal on board with the multiverse.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially, I don't think that Deadpool and Wolverine necessarily needs to be a multiverse movie in order for it to include Spider-Man. It could just be it could be Spider-Man tumbling around the multiverse. But if that's the case, if you're going to put Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Deadpool together, that's when you get Sam Raimi.
Yes. But he's like, wait, I can't make this one R? Well, no, because it's a Spider-Man movie first.
Shit.
Yeah. I am of those. The one I would be most open to is the Fantastic Four one, just because I do want. We've talked about this before. If there's another Tom Holland trilogy, and we still do he's teaming up with people. The three easy grabs are Daredevil, Fantastic Four, X-Men. Like, if you do those three, I'm good. That's it. That's all I care about.
Hell, you could just do Deadpool and I'll be happy.
Yeah, and so I don't feel that strongly about Deadpool, so I don't feel the same way. But I do understand. I understand the perspective. But it's like, and also that might make sense in that Fantastic Four are going to have to be a big part of the Secret Wars thing, Doomsday and Secret Wars. So if this is another way to sneak in another Fantastic Four, establishing how important they're supposed to be, That's not the worst idea. I just
honestly, if they were to say, because I mean, I assume at the end of Fantastic Four they'll be in the MCU, so it's like okay, good.
Yeah.
Or they won't, and it'll be annoying.
Yeah.
And they'll shoehorn them in.
They'll do what they did with
movie.
Supergirl, even though she was actually part of the CW, and it's like, no, even though she's on the same network now, it's still multiverse travel to hang out. It's like, why?
So I'm like, why didn't you just crisis it and blow up the other universe, or merge them for that matter?
Yeah.
But if the Fantastic Four do universe hop in their own movie, making a Spider-Man movie where Spider-Man introduces the Fantastic Four to the universe he's from, would be delightful.
That's not the worst idea. Okay, yeah, I think, and here's the other thing. Oh no, are we talking ourselves into this thinking it's a good idea?
Right?
If you do the Fantastic Four, that we just coming off the multiverse, the issue Spider-Man is dealing with is insane, where he's made the whole world forget his, like, that's not a grounded problem for Peter Parker to deal with. So maybe it's like, okay, No Way Home, multiple Spider-Man, whatever Spider-Man 4 is, Fantastic Four. We introduce the Fantastic Four. We wrap up this multiverse crisis Peter's in. Then 5, street level Spider-Man. We're back to basics. Well, that's not how the reality we live in works, but that would be cool.
I'd take it. My original point, about like this movie doing well, Spider-Man 4, no matter what it does. Yeah. This is the opportunity you have to make pretty much any Spider-Man movie you want, because it's sandwiched between 2 Avengers movies and it's a Spider-Man movie all by itself. Yeah. It's like you could get away with it just being like, you got Doomsday in the first one. Multiverse. You know you're heading up for the biggest multiverse experience of your life. And then there's the Spider-Man movie. Yeah. Where Pete and Matt are just dealing with a crime boss. Yes. Be kind of like a palate cleanser, you know, you're like, oh, yeah, all right, that was fun. And then the post-credit scene is like 3 Spider-Men jump out of a freaking portal and they're like, we gotta go. Yeah. And then honestly, if it was just Pete and Matt teaming up to fight the Kingpin, and like maybe they do, and they're like, that was rough. That took a lot out of us, right? Like, oh my God. And then the magic portal opens up. And one of the Spider-Men, you don't have to get both of them, because you know the other one's waiting for him in the other universe. But one of the Spider-Man, probably Andrew Garfield, because he's always down, comes to the portal and he's like, come on, Pete, we gotta go. And Matt's like, oh, well, I guess I'll wait here. And then Ben Affleck, Matt, comes through. Yeah. All right. Oh no, you're not getting off that easy. Let
me hit you with this. Let me hit you with this one. Yeah. Spider-Man and Spider-Man and Daredevil fight Kingpin, like you said, like, oh man, that took a lot out of us. And then post-credit scene, they're eating shawarma, whatever they're shawarma. They're eating pizza on a rooftop.
That would be awesome. They're eating hot dogs hanging off a building.
Yeah. Then the crash in the distance. Oh man, we just got off this other thing. They swing in there. Yes. It's the Fantastic Car. And the Fantastic Four stumble out and be like, oh no.
Yeah. Introducing the Fantastic Four as a post-credit scene in a Spider-Man movie would be sick.
Would be sick. All right. Here's my last multiverse that we could get. Yeah. And I'm going to say how you feel. Because I've heard with these rumors, you know, Spider-Man might fight a multiverse Sinister Six. So what if it's Aaron Taylor Johnson's Kraven, Tom Hardy's Venom, but Michael Keaton's back as Vulture, because I guess he's multiverse now. Morbius. Yeah. What if that's our Spider-Man 4 is the Sony's Sinister Six?
Yeah, I hate it, and I would not want it, but I would be more accepting of it if it was in the MCU.
Yeah. And
I don't want Pete to leave.
Here's the problem. I suggested that as a joke, because that's clearly what Sony would want. If Sony got it, Sony would love that. But here's how it makes $1 billion. You know how it makes $1 billion? Spider-Man and Venom. You call it Spider-Man and Venom. And it's Tom Holland and Tom Hardy team up to fight Morbius and Kraven. By the way, I love Kraven as a villain. I do not. It's the fact that he's getting a standalone movie is dumb to me.
Kills me. Yeah. It's a horrible idea, and Sony's going to be surprised by how bad it does.
Weirdly.
And I don't know why.
They're like, we didn't even see this coming. How did it? Who knew?
I don't get it. I don't know why it keeps failing.
Oh, my God. Well, guys, thank you for checking out our Spider-Man 4 discussion. Check out Sal on Comic Pop. You can find me over at Only Stupid Answers or my personal channel, DJ Talks Trash. And check out our Spider-Versity show where we talk about Spider-Man. It's a Patreon exclusive show, patreon.com/onlystupidanswers, where we talk about all things Spider-Man. We've gone through all the movies. We're in the animated series and stuff like that. So check that out.